Restream and everybody on it. Thank you, Restream. Already been talking to TikTok here. I'm Linda K. Gifford, and today, you may have been with me yesterday when the Surviving Spades CSA cPTSD Ask for What You Want Day went all to hell. So technically, this is Those Nasty Women Talk, and I decided, like every week, I put those nasty women, I make sure it springboards off of my CPTSD workshop, my spades, surviving spades workshop. So I'm just going to roll them together today. For the sake of my son got hit in the head with a pot, I was live streaming yesterday after the neighbors have construction work going on. So I wait for that, which is great. Wonderful. Love the neighbor. And when they're whining this thing, it's in the house, it's like so loud, so we start when that's over. But the podcast, which we haven't even actually launched it, it's all set up on like Spotify and going everywhere. But the way it works, if you are like doing what I'm doing, we're doing a hard launch on my birthday, September 2nd, of the book and the workshops. The book is Self-Talk: My Continuing Efforts to Survive Childhood Sexual Grooming and Assault. And if you don't already know, I'm the survivor of 7 years of childhood sexual grooming and assault. And it took a long time to come to grips with that and figure out that I needed to live for me. And that while it looked like I was living this life of freedom and bouncing around, I was married and divorced 3 times. I went to New Zealand and Australia for 6 months, with a friend, and a musical venture involving Yoko Ono back in the day, and Blue Cheer, and played the Ironman Triathlon Festival. And, like, all of that wasn't confidence and security. All of that was me just kind of going with whatever, because I was caught between wanting to be free and also trying to be what everybody wanted me to be, and trying to be perfect. And asking for what you want is very hard for anybody, especially women. And when you are a childhood sexual assault survivor, there's complexities added on with feelings of inadequacy or self-disgust, or you don't realize. We talk all about this in Dissociation. Please go back and review the PM Spades, Separating the Past from the Present, which was last week, and it's on YouTube. So library there goes all the way back, and there's a whole run of these before this. So I just want to keep drilling it into you that you've got to ask for what you want, or you're a liar. Or you're a liar. You're a dirty, rotten liar. If you're living for everybody else and you think that that is somehow pious, that is somehow helpful, if you're living a lie. And I hear, I'm a neurolinguistic practitioner, and I work with people with either they themselves or their partner, or occasionally both, were sexually assaulted as children. And there's so many levels of, you don't even know what intimacy is, much less putting these two people together. It's like, it's not like fire and ice. It's more like ice, and it just melts. And when two people really like and even love each other and get into a relationship that they want to last forever, and that's who I work with. Relational sexuality means not sex with your relations, depending on what state you're in, I guess. I don't think we code for that, though. I really don't. It means I only want to work with people either who feel trapped in a relationship, and the first thing we do is see if you really are, or if it's you. Because a lot of the time it was me. I learned later. It doesn't mean that I'm not glad that I'm out of the relationships, but I mean, I made my decisions, and it was me who, I give up. I'm knocking the ponytails out of the way. Pardon. They keep coming back. But anyway, it was me too. like Taylor Swift. I really loved her song. When she sang, "Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me." And it's 5 o'clock where I am. So, um, but the deal is, you take it a step further. You don't use that as your banner and wave it, and that's where we're going today. Um, you use it as your catalyst for change. Okay, I'm the problem. It's me. Now, what am I going to do about that? Well, the first thing is, don't accept that it's all your fault. It might be some of your fault. It might be all your fault. It might be all somebody else's fault. Whatever. Keep your slate blank first, because part of to get to where you can ask for what you want, from the boardroom to the bedroom, you got to know what you don't. So clean your slate. I also roll this in with the ideas of manifestation and belief, because what is a belief but a thought you keep thinking, says Esther Hicks, and many other people. And manifestation can be frightening to some people, or they think it's like, I can't do that thing, but if I could, I'd be twitching my nose saying, some people think that manifestation is hippy dippy or unattainable because it's such a deep level of spirituality that only yogis can do it or something. It's like, no, manifestation, you just need to redefine it. Here, I can give you the power to manifest whatever you want in your life right now. And that's not what we're talking about today. It's just part of it. If you want a better future, if you want a better relationship, if you want more intimacy, if you want to consider leaving what you're in and finding your power, the first step is to examine the entire situation, not just decide you're right and get the hell out. Now, there are times, many times, I will tell you, you are right, get the hell out. But we start with, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I remember when I said that, my now 19-year-old was really young. He's like, why would you do that? Why would you throw out the baby with the bath? I'm like, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for, your baby, your love, your marriage, your dreams, your hopes for orgasms, whatever. They may be a figurative baby sitting in the bathtub full of dirty water, So, wow, I never thought of this before. I got to write this down. So personify, even if you're freaking pissed off as hell at the person that you said you loved once upon a time, felt chemistry for, had attraction to. Start at, if you're in a fight, or if you're in not a fight, if you're in I don't know if I even want to ask for what I want or if I just want to bail. Well, the first step is personify them, because they are people. Remember that there was a baby that you loved in there. And then look at the bathwater and figure out what it is. Is it your mind? Is it one of my husbands, my third husband, had traumatic fears of being cheated on. And while I never did that, he would build things up in his mind. And in his mind, they became so real that there was no surmounting it. I'm a musician. I play with men. I have male friends. And one night, my best friend's little sister's boyfriend, who had just survived being shot in the head, they killed his mom and his brother's pregnant wife. And he was in bed. Of course, he heard all that and tried to play asleep, and they ran in the back room and grabbed him by the head, shot him, but they missed his brain. And he made it to the magic market. He got out of there, and he is a great writer. He dropped off a book of poetry after many, many months in witness protection with my friend's little sister. Oh, I mean, this is serious biz for our circle, our family of loved ones, right? And my new husband took him stopping by while he was out of town, which I told him. He called. I'm like, Eric's here. He stopped by with this poetry, and it's amazing. And the next thing I find out is that the place he was staying, his friend's house, his friend had a baby grand piano in the front room and 3-floor house and a hot tub. He started destroying things because a man was in my house. Now that's going cray cray. That is control. And when you are in a situation where it's gotten to that, yeah, there's no baby. There's only bath water. You never had a baby. You're looking at an empty tub. So now you must get out. But before you do that, most people are just in an interim. Most people who actually, in America, I mean, in most of the world, you're traded for a cow, or you marry who your dad tells you to for family alliances. And after that, it's just, all legal. And in America, you mostly marry because you wanted to, with huge exceptions, which I talk about too, and that's another live stream. But we're going to ignore child marriages, forced marriages, and Mormons in evangelical Mormon societies for now, and say most of us in first world countries, maybe, and even second, marry because we want to. But then comes in all of this legal shit, and we start commoditizing each other. Now, women have been commoditized, not always, not even for very damn long. Women, for the history of mankind, threw down and hunted, and it wasn't them gathering while the men hunted. The bones of hominids from all over the earth now show that 20, 30,000, 200,000 years ago, we were working together, and women did what men did. They also had the babies, but they still hunted. They still threw the javelin. Everyone, at the end of the day, tried to keep each other alive, and did so to the point that some people with massive injuries lived 40 years. There's a 40-year-old who had such severe injuries when he was much younger that there's no way he could have stayed alive. But he did, because we took care of each other, and women were not disrespected until we became a commodity. Until civilization got together and we're living in one place and people had power over other people, they had warehouses of food now, because now we're growing it, which seems, yay, we're growing food. But not only did it make us fat and screw up our immune systems, all the grains that are unnatural, but it led to deals and people living off of other people, and people using religion to control women, to control men too, to control everybody. But women became commoditized. And you don't know where I'm going with this. You probably think I'm going to bitch about that, but I'm not. I'm going the other way now. So in turn, women learned to commoditize men. I am the mother of 3 young adult sons. They are 27, 26, and 19. I think. Roughly. No, that's right. That's right. One is going to be 28 next month. I am a musician. I have played with male musicians, including many famous ones, for decades. I see the way that their lives have been hugely impacted by women commoditizing them, by women who married them, but then it was clear that there was not a basis of, I actually am connected to you. I almost said love you. But the thing is, everybody who says they love you, not everybody, but in a serious circumstance where you get, It's their definition of love. And what you have to understand is that everybody's definition of love is different. Everybody's definition of love is based on their own experience and expectations and wants and desires. So we spend so much time arguing with a person about whether or not they love us. You can't love me because of this. You don't love me because of that. It's clear that I love you because of this and that. And it's clear that you couldn't possibly. And then, yes, I do love you because just like these, isn't this the conversation that we constantly have? Right? And what's really going on is you need to back up and realize some people's definition and experience of love is different. Like I, as a childhood sexual assault, not just survivor, but a grooming and assault, years of being groomed into, at the first feeling of sex, of sexual feelings, because I'm a human, that I had, I'm 12 years old. I'm going to, I learned to turn that off. So then you become an adult, and it's hard to ask for what you want because, and this isn't just people like me who are childhood sexual assault survivors. This is everybody, I think. It's hard to ask for what you want in the bedroom, especially. But when intimacy is so misunderstood, that's even a bad word, not misunderstood. When your experience of intimacy leads you to dissociation, then you have to learn to undo that. You have to learn as an adult, as a partner, as a wife or husband or whatever I don't care what your titles are, a wife and a wife, husband, everybody's allowed in my game of love, and it's not a game. I only want reality love for you. I found it for me. I did so much work, and I'm saying commoditizing men is not the answer, but it was the natural outcome. So back to the top, because I'm really drifting. I'm not drifting. This is, oh my gosh, we just get so deep into all of this. In the real world, every letter of spades can take a full week of our sessions, or I can condense the entire 6 letters into a half an hour, which sucks. But right now, the A in spades, ask for what you want. Don't just take what's given in life. To do that, you have to understand that you don't. So that's why we're starting with you don't. And why? And the understanding that you can fix that. You can fix that so easy. It's not there, I just explained it to you. Now go fix it. It's not that hard. Seriously. Pardon me. I need to stand up and stretch and cross my legs the other way. Oh, by the way, everything I'm wearing is available. Well, it's not probably now, from the Sweet Shopping Group. I have had an online store since 2017. We have never closed, even through the pandemic, even though I got evicted twice. Yeah. Pusha. We did not close because we support women artisans. And I would rather answer to a lawsuit than have someone lose their income. So everything I have on, yes, I often wear matching cuffs because I'm a Wonder Woman freak and it makes me feel powerful. It does. And this is Lisa, my best friend who passed away. And I wear her like always. And Ruby is because you're supposed to see my creativity or something. So do you see my creativity? But the Toga nut necklace, and this was not from my store actually, but the Toga nuts, these are grown in the Ecuadorian lowlands. And I don't have the line anymore, but do go buy from them anyway. Lucius Imports, and they harvest, and it's like as hard as ivory, and it takes color beautifully. So highly recommend the check out Lucius Imports from Ecuador, South America. But that's not a branded plug, Oh, but speaking of that, while we're at it, this, I got to tell you. Well, I would have, but never mind. It's gone. Who cares? That's God telling me I shouldn't do branded plugs. Asking for what you want is the key to creating the future you want. And manifestation is nothing more than removing from your life the things you don't want. It's saying, I don't like this. It doesn't feel good. Bye-bye. Obviously, the important things you weigh carefully, which is why the whole lead up to this was about don't throw out your relationship. But at the point that you need to throw out your relationship, just remember that you don't have to see the entire path before you. You don't, this is with anybody I talk to, my kids, but I'm scared, I don't know what's next. It's like, well, yeah, if you have a plan for what's next, you're just jumping from thing to thing. So trust yourself and your support system. Hopefully you have one. If you don't, you have me. I'm super easy to get a hold of, and I'm the only one that answers my chat and will always, no matter how much we grow. I run this thing. I talk to you, and I want to. And no, I don't charge. We're all in this together. I am working on corporate sponsorship, and I just lost the goddamn Lumify, pardon my language. Speaking of corporate sponsorships, I do use it though. You don't got to do anything. You do you. But what I found helped me move forward in life, and then actually find a human being that is like amazing for me. You know, not dissing my exes, just saying this one is amazing for me, because I started making a list. Like, I mean, not a list, like I didn't write down, but this is behavior I will tolerate. This is behavior I won't. These are words I will tolerate. These are words I will not. This is the direction I want to go. This is not. And along those lines, I've got to go back to the top again, because I talked about how women didn't commoditize men. Once they learned to commoditize us, we had no recourse but to commoditize men. So what I encounter so much, especially, like I said, being a musician, having so many musician friends who are men, also women, but you know, there's a majority of male musicians in my world. They are, I'm trying to put this delicately. I don't want to get in trouble. When you are asking for someone, when you're telling me so-and-so didn't do this, they didn't take that job, my partner didn't, it's not male or female, let's just de-sex this. My partner isn't doing what I want them to do. They're not taking the job I want them to take. They're not organizing their things the way I want them to do that. And of course, short of being abusive, I'm just talking about, you know, why can't you remember to recycle? Why do you have to have a pile of stuff by the table? You know, the way I personally mitigate these things is by dropping a basket under it, because I'm a super neat freak and my husband is not. Who cares? Pick your battles. That is not a hill you should die on, and that is not a hill your relationship should die on. And beyond the house, it's like the job. It's my expectations were this. I wanted to live here. I wanted to do this. And if you are working together to the best of your ability, this should be a happy, fun, and harmonious. And you need to work together to build that communication. And if one or the other is never willing to get there, then goddamn, it's the rest of your life. It's the rest of your life. Are you going to live it for somebody else? Are you going to live it for some not imaginary? I absolutely believe in the afterlife. I talk to people who are textbook dead, but actually passed. I always have. And now I'm like just locking down on it instead of denying it. And it's so refreshing. And I'm getting so much guidance that everything is snowballing for Sweet Survivor and for my book. And I'm recording 3 CDs simultaneously, because I have so much original music that I've written that I haven't recorded, that we're just going boom, boom, boom. And the way I got here was removing everything I couldn't have. I got down to nothing. I gave away about 3/4 of everything I owned 2 years ago. I did. I got rid of everything that wasn't given to me by somebody else that I really cared about. And I moved my entire life. I'm like, all 3 kids are grown and living elsewhere. And now I have this freedom. And I'm so grateful for it. But I also created it. Like I said, I made choices that left me jumping off a burning bridge, not knowing if there was water below and not having a parachute. Just jumping off the bridge, because sometimes you've got to jump off the bridge, but that's extreme. Usually, I'm going to wrap up with that. Usually there's a path. And even if it's only 2 steps, even if this feels right and this does not, you've got 2 feet, put one and then the other onto the place that is better than the other one. You've got 2 steps. If you've only got 2 steps, that's so easy. That makes life so easy, actually. This is like, I mean, it's way better, not better, but eventually you'll get to something solid where you can have foundations and porches, doorways that you own. But right now, whatever, even if you own all those things, that was all figurative. If you don't know what the path is, then you take the next right step. And the one that is right is the one that feels good and healthy and like it's making you get closer to your dreams and goals, not serving somebody else, not serving your partner, always serving your children, of course. But our children need us to be whole. Our children do not benefit from us living lies. And time after time, every time that I've seen couples that stayed together for the kids, but didn't have a true emotional connection with each other, the kids in therapy, you know, the kids in therapy has been for years, and nobody's taking ownership of the fact that they didn't, that we feel things. It's not just what you say. It's not just walking in and out the door. It's feeling connection and love. And I would much rather be alone with my children, which I was for 14 years, than fake connection without love, because they get it. And that's what they're going to go do. Or at least along the way, they're going to be very confused. And you very likely are one of those people. So one of those children of those people. So the good news is it can all be fixed. It can all be okay. This is a kinder, gentler of those nasty women, because I'm also combining it with ask for what you want. Because yesterday my kid got hit in the head with a flower pot working at a big hardware store who took care of it. And he's got a concussion. And I was on the air when he called me. I'm like, I gotta go, folks. So being so similar, what I was going to talk about, don't commoditize men, women, because asking for what you want doesn't mean using and manipulating. Asking for what you want should be of life, but of your, when you're talking about your partner, if you're not in it together, and I can tell you, you're not in it together if you're checking a list, and if they don't check the list, you're out. Then you should be out now, because marriage has been hijacked by expectations. Marriage should start with true chemistry and love, the feeling of I need to be with you, I want to be with you, and whatever the future holds, we'll do that and build that together. But it seems like it's been bastardized into I have a list of expectations for you and I'm going to act like that, but then when you don't live up to my expectations, and certainly after I have children, because even if I don't like you, I'm going to go on and have a child or two, because now I got you. And the men in my life, like across the board, if they're not still happily married, they got screwed by somebody that because the men in my life are good people, or they wouldn't be in my life. I got rid of the other ones. I'm talking about friends, friends and associates. But then they've got a hanger on who uses their own children to manipulate them, who now expects a roof over their heads because their ovaries work. It's like, women, if you think you need more, want more, then you should challenge the legal system, because I think 25% of a man's income is fair, or your partner's income, if the woman is the wealthier one, is fair. But you also need to put on your big girl or boy pants. And when I see people that have spent 5-10 years in sex-free marriages, I'm like, and still call it a marriage. And usually they're so confused. It's like, well, things just change, I'm told. It's like, no, you're being used by a manipulator, or somebody who is so emotionally stunted themselves that they don't understand that, no, marriage doesn't change, the real kind that you want. And I don't even care if it's legal. I mean, when I say marriage, I mean a feeling that I want to be with you forever, partnership. That is only a thing that happens when you're going to take on the world together and you have such common interests that you're going to build it together. So don't have expectations. Ask for what you want and find the person that wants it too. And then it'll be real. And I talked last week about how selfishness is the only path to selflessness. And please go review that. It's in the YouTube library, as will this be by tomorrow. So I will talk to you soon. Good night. It's Thursday night. And my husband will be home momentarily. And I am going to enjoy some blue bloods and numbers. Okay, and Farmer wants a wife on the sofa. Farmer wants a wife. To be fair, the America 2024 season, my son, who's getting married this summer, looks exactly like one of the farmers looking for a wife. Exactly. Looks like him, walks like him, talks like him. If he showed up at my door and said, I am your son, I was a twin and stolen at birth, I would not even ask for a DNA test. Mannerisms, smile, I'm in shock. So anyway, Farmer wants a wife, also on the repertoire. You do your night and I'll do mine. And I will talk to you probably tomorrow, because we have a lot of things to talk about, even though it's not only scheduled. Podcast is, I keep saying, go to Spotify, but that's all prep work. I've got a machine moving right now. September 2nd, my birthday, is the grand launch. My book, Self-Talk, My Continuing Efforts to Survive Childhood Sexual Assault, Grooming, and Assault, comes out. My other book, Surviving Spades, 6 Steps from Trigger to Happy, which are the letters I keep talking about, comes out. And right now they are on pre-order for $9.99 for the bundle for, ebooks on Amazon. And so that's really exciting to me. It also means I really, really, really need to finish loading the photos and graphics. So all of this will be going as a library onto the Spotify and going everywhere, podcast, then through DistroKid. Like I said, it's a machine. It's like a machine, and it takes a lot of time to ride. Thank God I have help, but I need more. So please do volunteer at Sweet Survivor, sweetsurvivor.com. It's also the sweetshoppinggroup.com. I got the best stuff going. I'm wearing it. I think this one's still available. No, that's Aid for Trade. No. Lots of stuff, all bought from women artisans that we've already paid for. We buy from a cooperative in America who has already bought and warehoused the products here, so that we know our artisans, women, family, and community artisans in over 20 countries are getting the money. And it seems none of you know about it. So I need some help here. Please check out. We were doing very well before the pandemic. And I kept it open the whole time. I switched to face masks and toilet paper and hand sanitizer at cost just to be helpful and all of that. And then since then, we're chugging along, but I don't have advertising money. So I need you. I need you to do that thing. And when the hard launch comes out of all of this, the money will go straight into funding the workbooks that I want to provide at our physical, because we're going into institutions now and we're going to teach spades. And I'm working on a youth version too. So, so exciting. So exciting. Plus 2 more books. And I won't even tell you about them now. Take care. I'm Livy K. Gifford. Please download my CD though. It's free. 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 It should be in the comments or the description or something. And if it's not, it will be. And if it's not, Linda K. A. Y. Gifford, GIF authority, like Frank or Kathy Lee. Songs. That's what I'm looking for. LindaKGiffordSongs.com has my bio and reviews and stuff like that. I'm a Grammy nominated songwriter. Got an IBMA Album of the Year award as a songwriter with Del McCurry. But I'm really more deeply than that, a childhood sexual assault survivor, and I need to change things for people. So please download this one for free. I'm going to make you pay for the next one. It's recording now. Bye. Pshaw. I always have to wait for that.